Poundmaker Cree Nation has terminated its relationship with the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Stacey Comer spoke with a Bound councillor to find out the reason behind the move.
I am joined today on Primetime Local News by Councillor Brian Tutusis from the Poundmaker Cree Nation. Brian, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, good afternoon.
I want to talk about a news release that was sent out in regards to the decision of the Poundmaker Cree Nation to basically sever its ties with the FSIN. Can you tell me why you came to this conclusion? Why did the band decide this was the best thing to do?
Well, I guess one of the most important things to keep in mind is that we have jurisdiction on Poundmaker Cree Nation. We have our own people, we have our own language, we have our own laws, and so forth. So we been talking about this whole entire issue and where it's going to go within the past year with our elders and community members and through public meetings and workshops and those kind of things. So yes, we decided to separate based on us not losing faith, I guess, to some degree with the Federation. We have a responsibility here. We're a band custom nation that we protect and preserve our treaty rights for our unborn, our membership as we speak today, on reserve and off reserve and so forth. So we have a lot of health issues and educational issues and shelter issues, housing issues, infrastructure. We have plans, economic development. We have problems with CDC funding, with the Community Development Corporation, with our casino arrangement. We have our NRTA issues to resolve. And by doing this, by severing ties with FSIN, it's just going to enable the band to act as a nation, behave like a nation, and deal with the federal government only direct. We've given notice to FSIN via a BCR that was delivered to their office, and we had Chief Bobby Cameron speak to our chief on speakerphone regarding the matter, and he was informed verbally and by Band Council resolution that Poundmaker Cree Nation is going to sever ties with the organization.
So what was the response from the FSIN? Could they tell you right away that this is accepted, or does that really matter?
I guess to have some form of dignity and respect, we did it by Band Council resolution, and we did verbally talk to Mr. Cameron, FSIN chief, to share and let the executive members know that we are going to be evaluating all our programs and so forth with the governments and all the funding that we get for the community. We haven't had the results that we've expected FSIN to do for our nation for a long time, and the time has come and times have changed, and we're quite capable to look after the interests of our band members here on Poundmaker.
So what does this mean for the people of the Poundmaker Cree Nation going forward? Will they see any changes right away, or are there ways that they can get involved with this process with the band and council?
I think what's going to be important is that the process of patience is going to come into play quite a bit, because even now, it's October now, and April 1 is the new year. It's going to take us time to notify and give the proper documentation and arrangements with the federal government to have direct funding. In terms of the results for band members to get benefits and out of this whole entire process, it's just going to have to take its course, and we don't want to prejudge anything. I think we continue to spend a lot of our own source revenue in terms of security, food sovereignty, having our cattle program, buffalo program, and so forth, and to try and train our people try and give them an opportunity to be able to be good contributors to society, including our nation's society and outside society when they leave the reserve, to have opportunities for employment and education. We do have good lawyers, we do have social workers, teachers, and now a federal judge that comes from Palmaker. We did contribute to the well-being of the Federation for a long time. We do have the founders come from Palmaker. We had FSIN chief, Mr. Fava was a chief there. We have a lot of employees, and I myself was an employee of the Federation 14 years, long time ago.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time, and good luck with this process. If there anybody would like more information, anybody from the Cree Nation, are you welcoming them to contact you or contact the band office about this process, or should they be waiting for a public meeting, or how does that work, Councillor Tatusis?
What will happen next is that we've given the proper notices and so forth that we'll be having a band meeting shortly, and there they'll be told. We'll have our sessions in Saskatoon to deal with off-reserve band members that live in the area, and we'll have another session in Edmonton, most likely, to look after the folks that live in Calgary and Edmonton and small municipalities or other First Nations in that area by and preserve our treaty rights for the unborn. And I think the whole entire council supports that concept. Thank you.
All right, Brian. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And we wish you luck with this process. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
All right. Take care.
For the 4th consecutive year, Walk Across Canada is up and running. At the Service Sports Centre, you can put some laps down on the track to work towards a community goal.
Canadian Natural Walk Across Canada is a program that we created as a sponsorship with Canadian Natural. We just wanted to get the community engaged, get them active. The goal with this program was to make it accessible for all abilities, all ages, and really just make sure that everyone felt welcome in the space.
Wheelchairs and strollers are welcome on the track with people of all ages. If you'd like to take part, the steps are very simple.
So it's just a drop-in program. You just show up to the Service Sports Centre, check in at one of the desks. You'll get a wristband there, and then we can make sure that we're counting those stats, count your laps as you walk, and then you're just going to report them back at the desk on your way out.
Now, every lap tallies toward the Cross Canada goal of 8,061 kilometers. And if you have an overdue library book at home this weekend, maybe the time to return it. I'm joined today with Cheryl Sikora. She is the director of the Lloydminster Public Library. Now, this Saturday at the library is Fine Forgiveness Day, where overdue fees are being waived this Saturday only. Tell us a little more about the event.
Yeah, we know that in tough economic times, the library increases in importance. The public library is a fantastic way to borrow books and DVDs and access our free programming. And we would never want fines to be a barrier from inviting people to come access the library. So tomorrow for Fine Forgiveness Day, all you need to do is come into the library, present your library card. We'll probably verify your information and then forgive your fine, and you'll be free and clear to access the library once again.
So why did the library decide to do something like this?
We've got some new and exciting things that we're really hoping that our community will take part in. And we just thought it was a fun way to have some renewed relationships and to remind people that we've got some great space in the mall and great access to a ton of resources.
Now, Cheryl, I wanted to ask, you were just recently appointed to the Lloydminster Public Library as the director. How has your first little bit on the job been?
It's a lot. We've got a lot going on here, and it is a very exciting space. And so we've got some great staff members that I've really enjoyed getting to know, and we've got some great things on the horizon. We're soon going to be starting family story time on Friday nights at 6:30. It will be hosted by a board member or a prominent community member, maybe in a couple of different languages other than English. So we're excited to get that going in November. And we're also starting a makerspace feature on October 20th, where we'll invite families to come in. On the 20th, it's going to be Bean Mosaic. And so to create and learn and share some time together completely free.
That's exciting to hear. And it's nice to see the library now here at the Lloyd Mall. I think the move has given the library a new sense of life and made things more accessible. The library has now been in the mall a little while. Are things kind of settling down and now you're ready to kind of thrive here in the new space?
We are loving the new space. We've had feedback from our patrons that say the parking is fantastic. They enjoy coming to the library on both Saturday and Sunday. And so we are really loving the new space, and we're going to continue to increase access and offer some new things that are going to be very exciting for our community.
That's awesome to hear. You've already shared with us a little bit today about some things that are going on at the library. Anything else exciting that people should know about?
I'd like to remind people that we have preschool story time on Thursday mornings at 10:30. We're going to continue with Lego in the makerspace on Sundays, and you can look forward to great things coming up at the Lloydminster Public Library.
Now that's great to hear. I know every time I look on the library's Facebook page or the website, there's always so many activities and events going on, honestly, for all ages. So for people out there who are interested in coming down to the library to get a library card, all they have to do is stop on by with a proof of residency here in Lloydminster, right?
Just your driver's license or some sort of picture ID, and we will be happy to sign you up.
Thank you so much, Cheryl, for joining us today. Hopefully we see a lot of people coming out and returning their books on Saturday.
All right, thank you.
Now we saw a nice day here in Lloydminster weather-wise. Let's check in with Shelby Clark for a look at weather.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Did you miss me? Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Was a little bit under the weather. Maybe it's just from how cool it has been, for the past few days here this week in the border city. But no, I'm back at it. But for today, for our Friday TGIF, we are just seeing 18. Seen a much warmer day for sure today than what we were looking at, of course, throughout the week. And we have been seeing a mixture of some sun and clouds. Saw a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds throughout the day. So hopefully everybody has been enjoying it. We haven't been seeing too much strong of winds that we have been seeing throughout the week as well. So that was a nice break and a nice good start into our weekend. So hopefully everybody has gotten outside and enjoyed it. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. Most spots are matching with us here in the border city at that 18-degree mark. Seeing that 19 over in Vegreville and Edmonton, and seeing 17 up in Cold Lake. So kind of seeing around the same conditions as what we are seeing in the border city on our Alberta side. So not looking too cool. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, they are looking slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side. Up in Isle of Cross, just reaching that 10 degrees, so definitely have cooled down quite a bit. Seeing that 14 in most areas over on this side, especially for Meadow Lake and Green Lake. 15 for St. Walburg as we go a bit lower. Maidstone and North Battleford just at 16 degrees. The rest are just seeing around 17 and 18. So a mixture of different temperatures over on this side, but still seeing those mid-teens, so not looking too bad whatsoever. And for North Battleford tonight, they will be going down to low -2, so seeing those minuses once again. We are slowly moving into those temperatures for our evening lows, so just be prepared. Definitely going to be seeing that single digit though, so not too bad, better than what we are used to. We're slowly moving into those -30s, -40s, so I don't think anybody wants to rush that. North Battleford will be looking at 7 throughout the day tomorrow for their high, and seeing a mixture of some sun and clouds, so definitely cooling down from what they are looking at today, but still seeing that plus temperature, so not looking too rough. Cold Lake will be going out to low -4, so definitely cooling down quite a bit. A slight breeze tonight as well, so they're going to be also maybe seeing a chance of a shower in the area, so just be prepared for that. Then tomorrow they will be seeing that 5 throughout the day, so cooling down quite a bit as well. And for us here in the border city, low -3, and we are going to be seeing a high chance of that shower later on in the evening, so just be prepared. We are going to be seeing some cool showers, so make sure you're going to go back inside later on in the evening. Then looking at 6 tomorrow, so cooling down quite a bit for our Saturday, but at least we are seeing a beautiful day for today. And now ending off with some viewer photo submissions. Thank you to everyone that submitted some nice weather shots, and this one is from a couple people. Gorgeous from Shiloh, very nice shot. Love seeing that fall photo. Love seeing that everyone got some good photos out there. And this is another beautiful trail shot from Brianna, so thank you guys so much. And that's all I have for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
the world of sports, it's been a busy time of the year with athletics in full swing around the city, and that includes the Lloydminster Barons Senior Boys Volleyball Club. Our Adil Ahmed has the story.
The Lloydminster Barons Senior Boys Volleyball Club have somewhat of a new look this year on their roster. After having a team mainly filled with grade 12s last season, it's a mix of grade 10, 11, and 12 athletes, which makes it a new experience for the team as a whole.
6 grade 12s, 4 grade 11s, and 2 grade 10s. Just an interesting little fact, our last tournament, we had some kids sick, and so in the semifinals and finals I had starting 2 grade 12s, 2 grade 11s, and 2 grade 10s. And we went all the distance, so that was pretty neat.
Last year I was the only grade 11 on the starting line with all grade 12, so this year it's completely new for me, just kind of playing with all new guys. So it's really it's cool playing with my brother as a setter, so it's always fun kind of playing with guys you've never played before.
One new player that's a part of the team this season is grade 11's Tyler Gardner, who says he's been pleased with the level of performance from the team throughout this season.
I've already seen a lot of improvement in the team from our first tournament, because even myself, the first tournament I'd be on the net for every party ball, but now I've got a lot more self-control and stuff, and then I've came a long way too this year, and then I'm just good to see how we've improved as a team.
Throughout this season, the Barons have had 4 tournaments so far, with all of them being on the road. And with their upcoming tournament taking place right behind me, the Barons say they're excited to be playing at home.
Yeah, I hope there's a big crowd and stuff, because I like when there's a home crowd and whenever there's a good hit or something, the crowd gets all riled up and stuff, and it's nice. So I'm pretty excited for that, and I just hope we win.
I'm excited to see some of the club guys too come out from different towns and cities all across Saskatchewan, Canada. So it's going to be a fun little tournament for us.
The Barons' first home tournament of the season will be taking place from October 14th to the 15th. Adil Ahmed, Primetime, Local Sports.
Now it's time to check in once again with Shelby Clark, who has an extended look at weather.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast. We will be starting with our central zones of the provinces here. And on the central side, for our Alberta side, they are seeing some nice warmer temperatures for sure. Warmed up just slightly compared to what we have been seeing for, a few days this week. Especially over in Jasper now, just sitting at 20 degrees. The rest are just a few degrees underneath. Staying that 18-19 for Edmonton and Edson, while it is 17 and 16 for Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House, and up in Athabasca. Meanwhile, over in Whitecourt, they are seeing the coolest compared, but just at 15. So seeing those mid-teens to 20 degrees, not looking too bad for our central area, especially on our Alberta side. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, although they are looking slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side, especially for Prince Albert, Melfort just reaching 10 degrees. So just seeing those double digits, seeing that 12 degrees for Saskatoon, and Meadow Lake is just at 14, and North Battleford is slightly warmer compared, but still seeing those double digits and those plus temperatures. So I don't think a lot of us are complaining too much right now. Going over to our northern zone, although now they are seeing those single-digit temperatures, so cooling down quite a bit, and especially on our Saskatchewan side, they aren't seeing too many double digits. They are just seeing right underneath that 10-degree mark. Lalache and Buffalo Narrows both at 9 degrees, while it's 4 and 6 in most spots over on this side, 5 degrees over in Flin Flon, while South End is just at that 7 mark, so definitely looking a lot cooler over on that end. Going back to our Alberta side to check them out, Fort McMurray, Fort Chipewyan, and High Level seeing the warmest, coolest conditions with that 4, 6, and 7. So still looking slightly cooler in those spots, and they have been seeing some slightly cooler temperatures compared to the rest over on this side for, the past week here. So definitely down in this area for Peace River, Slave Lake, and Grand Prairie, seeing the warmest conditions, 15, 16, and 18 even over in Grand Prairie. So not looking too bad down in this area, especially over on this side in our northern zone. And now going over to our southern zone, just as we kind of expected, they are seeing slightly warmer temperatures. 20, 21 for Medicine Hat and Lethbridge, so they're beating on everybody right now. Seeing that 18-17 for Coronation and up in Banff, while Calgary is just a few degrees cooler compared to the rest, but still seeing those mid-teens, so can't complain there in Calgary. And going over to our Saskatchewan side to end things off for our southern zone here, looking slightly cooler than what we have been seeing as well with those the Saskatchewan side and the other zones as well. So the Alberta side is definitely seeing some warmer conditions. 10 and 11 for Regina and Estevan. Meanwhile, over in Yorkton, just seeing 7 degrees. And they start to warm up from there as we go more in the center with Moose Jaw at 13, 16 in Swift Current, and Kindersley's just under that 20-degree mark. But now looking at temperatures of what we will expect throughout our evening and throughout the night tonight as we head into the weekend. Get ready. We are seeing those minus marks coming back up. Meadow Lake will be expecting that 0 point for their evening low tonight throughout the night. A low of -1 that Provost and Isla Cross will be expecting, and Paradise Hill and Bonnyville will be seeing the coolest temperature with a low of -3 and 4. Most spots will be seeing some pretty cool conditions throughout the evening as well, especially for Paradise Hill, seeing that high chance of that showers later on through the evening that some other spots will be expecting. Looking at more spots here, low of -2 that Myrna will expect, low of -4 that Pearson will see, and Unity will also be expecting that low of -2, and Wainwright and Calgary will be expecting slightly warmer with that 0 and low of 3 for tonight. So not looking too bad in Wainwright and Calgary. The rest will be seeing some high chances of some showers as well and some cooler temperatures. And ending off with our 7-day forecast for here in the border city, we are cooling down tomorrow for our Saturday, but don't worry, we'll pick it back up on Sunday and Monday, seeing that 16 to start off the week with a mixture of some sun and cloud, then even reaching 20 next Tuesday and almost next Wednesday. So get ready. We might see some beautiful temperatures on certain days next week. That's all I have for now. Our Jason Mackey will have more news coming up after the break.
Thank you so much for being here today to talk with me about the Harvest Festival.
Yeah, really excited. So it's been a few years since we've been able to have the Harvest Festival in person, and it's just a really exciting event for us. We really love the local feel of the event, and we're just really happy to have it back into play.
Can you talk a bit about what the event is all about?
Absolutely. So every year, Harvest Festival aims to celebrate local food producers and agriculture within the community, within the region, and sometimes within the provinces that we have. So we have a number of dishes that are presented at Harvest Festival, and it's our goal to include local ingredients in each of those dishes.
How much produce do people typically bring in to use for the Harvest Festival?
So it depends on the number of people that we require, and it obviously depends on the dishes that we're making. This year, I know that we're looking at about 60 pounds of each of the different kinds of meat, and depending on the veg, we're looking at between 5 and 100 pounds, depending on what we're using there. But it's a great celebration of those local harvests, I guess.
As you were saying before earlier, you said it's been years since you were able to do this.
Yeah.
Probably due to COVID, I would imagine. So what has it been like with the atmosphere of everybody getting ready to put this event back on again?
Really excited again. So even through COVID, I think there's been a real celebration of that field to table movement, and so we're really excited to bring that back, something that we've been celebrating for years. So it's exciting. We're happy to make connections with our producers again. We're happy to have people at the X celebrating our local agriculture and our local producers. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and we're excited to have it a little bit earlier this year. Sometimes it lands in November, so at the end of October we think is like a perfect time for it for this year. So
how long does it take to prepare for the Harvest Festival?
So we start planning typically in the spring, And then we start, right now we're just kind of gathering all those produce. Things are starting to come in and making sure that we have the quantities that we need. It starts with a monthly meeting, and now we're basically at bi-weekly. So making sure that we have everything in place, and then prep for the actual event. So the kitchen team and the volunteers who do the actual like preparing of the food is a kind of a 2 to 3 day process where we kind of everything starts coming in, and then we start that prep, because it is, again, it's a number of dishes in a short amount of time. So yeah, we rely on the team at the Axe and our seasoned volunteers to create some really beautiful dishes.
With October 26th coming up really quick, it must be really even getting busier, as the preparations kind of need to quicken at this pace with it only being so close. It's so close to the date it's happening.
Exactly. So now we're meeting once a week. So we had a meeting this week, and we'll have a meeting next week. And then, like I said, in advance of the event, we do a 2-day prep to make sure that everything is ready to go day of. It's a great atmosphere. Harvest Festival really is just that opportunity to not only come and have local food prepared by the team at the Lloyd Axe, but also to visit with people, sit down in kind of like a communal type atmosphere, and just really celebrate the season.
Thank you again so much for talking with me today about the upcoming Harvest Festival. It was great. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Again, you can pick up the tickets at Lloyd Axe's website. Again, $25 in advance, $30 at the door, and just celebrating that field to fork.
Hey everyone, I'm Shelby Clark, and just coming up here in October for Halloween is the classic Nosferatu with the Saskatoon Symphony. Make sure to come check it out. You can go get tickets online at bigjubatheater.ca. It'll be October 20th, just in time for Halloween, and it'll be at 7:30 p.m., so make sure to get your tickets and come check it out. Hey everyone, if you already had a Thanksgiving dinner and you're looking for another one, or you may not have one and you would like a delicious meal, make sure to go check out Clandonald Community Hall on this weekend on Sunday, October 16th. You can get a full meal. They got turkey, they got stuffing, they got mashed potatoes, salad, gravy. There's so much more. I can't even list it all off. It's going to be delicious. Admission is $16. Preschoolers can get in for free. It's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. And make sure to go check it out and have a delicious meal, because those proceeds will be going towards the hall renovations. Look at that beautiful mural. Pretty nice, right? Someone that made it must be pretty crafty. Well, if you love crafts, you can go check out the Hillman Craft Show. There's one that's going to be tonight from 5 to 8. There is one tomorrow that's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., so make sure to go check it out. It's at the Hillman Hall, free admission and cash only, so make sure to hit those ATMs before entering. Well, that's what's coming up this weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy. I'm Shelby Clark.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us, as always, for this week's entertainment panel is the lovely Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be able to come in studio and be able to come for the best panel of the week.
Of course, I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
It is the best panel of the week.
Right? So we got some good topics on the go, and I think they're very seasonal, that's for sure.
Yes.
This one's a little bit, I guess kind of shocked that we'd be talking about it right now. Halloween hasn't even passed yet. But, this movie's going to be coming up here in November 11th, I'm pretty sure, in theaters. And this one is Spirited, and it's supposed to be a new Apple TV Christmas movie. And once you see who's in it, it looks like it's already going to be hilarious. We got Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's going to be great.
I think that's a perfect duo, and the dynamic, just separately. You've seen them in a bunch of other comedies, but together, I think it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be maybe a little bit messy, but all in all, very hilarious considering this is also a musical. Adaptation on Charles Dickinson's The Christmas Carol. There's been tons of adaptations about this, but this one seems like it's going to be more of a comedy and less of, you know, a finding yourself type of movie, especially with the two, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. Octavia Spencer is also in it, and I think she's fantastic in everything she does. She's hilarious as well, so I think that's the perfect addition to this cast. Now, Will Ferrell's playing the ghost of Christmas past, and of course, Ryan Reynolds is going to be, you know, his name is Clint Briggs, and he is a businessman, probably, you know, not into Christmas.
Yeah, probably grumpy and like, oh.
Yeah, doesn't really want to give back, consider, you know, he's wealthy, so he probably doesn't want to give back. There wasn't too much in the trailer, I think it was just chaos in the trailer. It opens up with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds tap dancing, and then it kind of then goes into the storyline. I think it's just going to be hilarious watching the two of them on screen together. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, it is coming in theaters November 11th, and then it'll be streaming on Apple TV November 18th. So a little bit of a gap in between, but not too much of a wait to watch on Apple TV. But I'm very excited for it. I think this is promising. I think that, you know, it's a different and unique take on the original story. They even have a different name for it, being Spirited. So I'm hopeful for this movie.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be exciting to see kind of the chemistry between those two, you know, both hilarious. Let's see if, you know, they have that good chemistry on screen that, you know, they're hilarious together and it's not something that you're like, it's kind of forcing it or something, you know? But I think that will be some good chemistry. They both have those goofy personalities. And with Octavia Spencer, she's just hilarious on her own as well. So I think it's going to be really good. And it's funny that it's coming out like way ahead. I mean, it's like here in November 11th theaters. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think they're kind of saying this is a Christmas movie, but it's also like just however you want to take it kind of movie.
Comedy before American Thanksgiving, before Christmas, like over a month before Christmas. But we're gonna throw out this wacky Christmas movie based on a story that every generation knows.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be funny.
Sounds like a fun project for sure. That a lot of people I think are gonna be excited to. Who knows? You really like it. It'll be a new Christmas tradition kind of movie, you know. But you know, we got another thing that's coming up in time for Halloween. And it's already here. Halloween Ends. This is the last movie, I guess, in that franchise in a way. And the sad thing is, you know, everybody, like, I love me some Jamie Lee Curtis and everything, but it's gotten some pretty rough reviews so far. Not trying to give, obviously, some spoilers. There is some spoilers already out there, but it's gotten some bad reviews, and I know a lot of people aren't too happy with the way it ended.
Yes, the original Scream Queen is back, and for the last time. We've had some bad reviews on the first two. The first one, they got some decent reviews, and then the second one fell very short of that. And it seems like the third one is kind of following suit, and it currently has a 43% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and only a 59% audience rating. Which is kind of disappointing, you know, but it is a slasher, so you have to take it with a grain of salt because slashers are ridiculous. They're, you know, sometimes an overkill, but that's just what makes them slashers. You know, you got the blood, the guts, the gore. Now coming into Halloween Ends, it seems as though that it's not hitting the way that they thought it would. One top critic on Rotten Tomatoes, Linda Merrick with the Jewish Chronicle, stated one could excuse the lack of scares had the writers done something out of the ordinary with this closing chapter. Instead, we are left with a case of let's throw everything at the story but the kitchen sink and see what sticks. So it's kind of like they just threw a bunch of ideas out there and then decided, okay, whatever sticks, we'll just go with. And there wasn't a whole lot of thought into the writing and stuff. So that's kind of disappointing considering this is the final installment with especially Jamie Lee Curtis. Obviously, if you're a huge fan of the franchise, definitely don't let this deter you from seeing it for seeing the final chapter. You know, I know I'll be seeing it, and I still think it would be worth going to check out.
Yeah, and a lot of projects, you know, we've seen those bad reviews on. We always do say, like, you know, take your own opinion, go see it. Just don't even be like, oh, bad reviews, I'm not seeing this. And I've seen like online that some people are comparing it with the classics of the Halloween franchise, of just showing the lighting difference and all that stuff. And, you know, of course, back in the day, it seemed a little bit more cheesier, but I think a lot of people sometimes miss those creative choices than what they do now with this new trilogy of how they handle things. So it's not going to make everyone happy. Some people, like, you know, in different, I feel like, generations are going to be like, I like that, or I'm used to this, so I don't know why they changed that. So I think everyone should still go see it and decide for themselves, finish off it, and, you know, give Jamie Lee Curtis that final goodbye that she deserves, because, of course, she's amazing in those movies. So, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to be able to speak with us today, Abby.
Of course.
And it's that time of the week where we take a look at the winner of the Pet Pad gift card for this week. We saw lots of cute animals, and look at this, Sadie, congratulations. You are our winner. Sydney will be in contact with you on Monday to let you know how you can pick up that Pet Pad gift card. Congratulations. Well, that does it for Primetime Local News for us on this Friday night. Thank you all so much for joining us this week. We'll see you again on Monday.